Everybody's been asking about my face tattoos. Let's talk about it.
He's unbothered.
What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. So, a lot of times I'll be scanning through the comments on my different videos, and people will hit me up and they'll ask me about the significance of my tattoos, especially when it comes to the face. I have too many tattoos to really go into in one video, so we're not going to be doing that. But I will talk about the tattoos on my face because those are the ones that people comment on the most. Some people have positive opinions, some people have negative opinions. I really don't care what anybody thinks about them. I don't think you can look like me with the tattoos and the piercings and really care about what people think unless you just want to upset yourself all the time, which I am not that type of person. Before we go any further, I am going to ask that you do like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to comment to help me on the algorithm, but you don't know what to comment, let's just put a needle because tattoos are done by needles. So I do really mean it when I say that I don't care what anybody thinks about me, but there is one person that I do care about, and that person is my mother. Within the last 6 months, I was back visiting my mother, and she took a long, hard look at me while we were at dinner, and she was like, "I like the way you look." And for me, that made my heart happy. I do have a tattoo. It says mom because at one point I told her I was going to get a tattoo on my hand. And she said, "Is it going to say mom?" And I was like, "No." And then I got a tattoo on my hand that said mom. So that's the only person I care about. So when people comment on it on my page in a negative way, I don't really care about those people even a little bit. And just so everybody knows, this is not any kind of endorsement for face tattoos or telling people that they should get face tattoos in any way. There are plenty of people that don't have tattoos, don't want tattoos. I just happen to like tattoos, so I have a lot of them. But when it comes to face tattoos, I do feel I have a bit of a responsibility to tell you that it will change your reality in the way that at least some people look at you. And mostly that doesn't matter. But when it comes to dealing with the police, before I ever had any face tattoos, my dealings with the police were usually very chill and very routine. Since I've gotten face tattoos, it is very normal for them to ask me if I have any firearms in the car, or if I've been to prison, if I've been to jail, if I'm on probation. These are just things that they will ask me. On the more positive side, a lot of people will stop me on the street or in the grocery store and just let me know that they do like my tattoos a lot, or they'll point out one particular tattoo that they're familiar with the symbolism of and they like that I have that particular tattoo. When it comes to getting jobs, that's not something I think about because I'm a stand-up comedian, and I didn't get these until 5 years ago when I was already 15 years into doing stand-up. So I really wasn't worried about any kind of work type things, but these are things you have to think about if you're considering getting face tattoos. If you're just watching for the fun of it, I respect that too. So we'll start in order. The first one that I got is this tattoo, or that was the first one that I got because I really do think it is a beautiful symbol. Also, if you know what it stands for, as far as consciousness, as far as centering yourself, as far as being in line with the universe, that is something that I feel that is very important. And it's also something that I have done before to stay grounded. And I got this right under my eye because sometimes I would get a bit of road rage, or I would be upset with people in the car. And when you look in the rear view and you see the every once in a while it will remind you, just chill out, take a breath, relax a little bit. And I love having this symbol on my face. It was the first one. At that time, I had just started dating this guy that I ended up being engaged to for a while. I'm obviously not married now, so we know how that worked out. But I got it while he was at work, and I was a little worried that he was going to feel a particular way about it. When he got home, the only thing he was mad about was the fact that I didn't take him with me because he probably would have wanted to get a tattoo as well. I liked him tattoo free, which he was when I met him and for the duration of our relationship, so I'm glad I didn't tell him because I liked him tattoo free. But he didn't have a problem with it, and that was the only person that I was worried about at that particular time, and I do not regret that tattoo even a little bit, but it immediately did change my reality, like I said, when it came to dealing with the police. And it's not like I'm dealing with the police all the time, but there have been times when I had a ticket or when I had to get a restraining order on that guy that I was engaged to. The second tattoo I got was St. Peter's cross. Some people think that's a satanic cross. The way that I have it is not meant to be a satanic cross. It's St. Peter's cross. If you're not familiar with the story of St. Peter, I'm not a theologian, but I'll tell you what I know about St. Peter and why it is I got that particular tattoo. So the deal was St. Peter was the one that sold Jesus out. It's a funny way to put it, but he denied Jesus.
This very night before the rooster crows, you will deny 3 times that you even know me.
And then after the resurrection, St. Peter was the first person to see Jesus. He was regretful about the way that he had done Jesus dirty. And then he turned out to be Jesus's most dedicated disciple and the person that really spread Jesus's word more than anybody else. So when it was time for St. Peter to be crucified, he didn't think he was worthy of being crucified the same way that Jesus Christ had been crucified, which was right side up. So he asked that he be crucified upside down. There has been some debate on the way that story goes. So theologians, if you're watching my channel, which I doubt you are, go ahead and argue it out in the comments. I won't be joining the argument though. I'm just telling you why I got the tattoo. The reason that I got the tattoo though is because it reminds me that even sometimes when you think somebody hasn't been the best friend for you, maybe every once in a while you should give it the benefit of the doubt a little bit and maybe find it within yourself to at least have some sort of forgiveness. And this lesson came to me from the comedy world specifically. When I first started doing stand-up, the attitudes towards gay and the discrimination that I dealt with were very different than they would be for a person that's starting now in 2023. There were some comics that were very, very mean to me and they would bully me. And I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. They would call me a it from the stage at different points. At a point, I lashed out at them. I was good at roasting. So eventually, I won those comedians over. They became my friends. They became some of my biggest supporters. And to this day, some of those people talk about how great I am and how brave I was for doing what I did when I was first doing it. So that's the reason that I got that particular tattoo, is like I said, just to remind myself that sometimes even when somebody doesn't act like your friend, they can possibly be your friend. So maybe every once in a while, show a little bit of forgiveness. The next tattoo that I got on my face is the Leviathan cross. This one people have the most problems with because it is a satanic cross. I am not a Satanist. I have no reason to lie. If I was a Satanist, I'd just tell you I was a Satanist. You guys already know I'm gay, so how much more can you hate me? Just playing. I know I don't have that kind of audience, but I would in a way say that I'm non-denominational because I was raised Catholic, and with everything that we know about the Catholic Church and with everything I've experienced with the Catholic Church myself, as far as what they believe, as far as how money hungry they are, as far as me actually having hooked up with the priest before when I was an escort. One day I'll go into it, but that is 100% true story. Some people would judge me for that. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. But to get back to the point, I am what I would consider non-denominational, but my mother told me from a very young age that I was baptized Catholic, so I'm always going to be Catholic. So to keep my mother happy, I will say that I'm Catholic and I will be Catholic for the rest of my life. But as far as exploring other religions or other ideologies, because Satanism technically isn't a religion, I really like the symbol because for those of you that don't know about Satanism, and I'm not trying to sell anybody on Satanism here, I'm just telling you guys why I got the tattoo. Satanism is really about nonconformity and individualism, which in case you can't tell, I am very much a nonconformist. I am very much an individual. So that's a big part of why I got the tattoo. I think the tattoo is really pretty, so I got it for that reason at all. Originally, I had seen it on Dave Navarro, who I absolutely love Dave Navarro. I think he's the hottest man in the world. Don't tell my future husband. I'm not engaged right now or even dating anybody. So I think we're pretty safe on that. He'll one day watch this video and be like, yeah, I'm better than Dave Navarro. And because he's my future husband, I will agree. But But that is originally where I saw the tattoo. I thought it was great. Then I looked into what it was. And when it comes down to it, the way that I've read the things that I've read about Satanism, a part of it is that you are a good person because you're a good person and not because God is watching. And that's something I very much do believe in, because I see a lot of people doing a lot of things that are the things that they think that they're supposed to do rather than the ways that they can be the most helpful and of service to other people. I know that a lot of people wouldn't think of me that way, but I am actually really generous and I am actually really good with people that are homeless. I always donate stuff that I don't need anymore. I do regularly give money to them. And so even though I know a lot of people would think, because of the way that I joke, and I do a couple of homeless jokes and stuff like that, people would think that I'm the opposite of the way I am. I am what you would technically call a good person, even though most good people won't tell you they're good people unless they're making a video about their tattoos and trying to let you know why it is they have a Satanism tattoo on their face. Again, I will repeat, I am not a Satanist. The other tattoo I have on the other side, that is the symbol for Mercury, which, if you don't know, the Satanist tattoo is also derived from the symbol for sulfur in alchemy. Well, sulfur is a masculine and Mercury is a feminine. So to balance out the sulfur on the one side of my head, I decided to get the Mercury on the other side of my head because I didn't like having just the one tattoo on one side. So what happened was I got this one week, and then the following week I got the Mercury on the other side just to balance it out, and so I would have the male and the female. Even though I know it's kind of weird and hippy dippy or whatever, I do like having things in balance, and I definitely do believe in every person there is the masculine and the feminine. So masculine, feminine. Also, Mercury is Gemini. My dad's a Gemini. Two of my sisters are a Gemini. And even though Geminis can at times be the bane of my existence and the polar opposite of what I am, which is an Aquarius, Geminis will and have always played a huge role in my life. And so there's that as well. The last one that I got is this clown tattoo, which technically is not a perfect clown tattoo. But what a lot of people don't understand about that, when they're like, your tattoo's crooked on the top and on the bottom, it's like, yeah, that's by design, because in case you can't tell, my face is also asymmetrical. So if I were to have a perfectly straight clown tattoo, that would make my face look even more asymmetrical than it already is. So this tattoo was actually designed with that in mind, which, if you know anything about tattoos, they are supposed to complement rather than take away or draw attention to whatever it is that maybe could be considered a flaw. I have been completely honest about that in the past, and the reason that my face is as asymmetrical as it is, and I don't have a problem with that. At this point, I will tell you that I honestly do love myself exactly the way that I am, and I consider every mistake that's been made, even with my face, which I don't consider my tattoos to be a mistake at all, but every mistake that I made with my face has really helped to shape me into the person that I am, and I love the person that I am. And so when it comes to people being like, you must really hate yourself and you must really hate your face, no, actually it's the opposite when it comes to that. People really don't understand that at this point, all the way around, I love myself so much that no matter what I do to my face, I can't mess it up. And some people would say, well, that makes you sound really cocky and full of yourself. Well, who am I supposed to be full of? I am me. But the reason that I got this particular tattoo, the clown tattoo, was because at the time I was living in Vegas and I wanted everybody there to know that I am head clown in Las Vegas. Then I moved to Austin, and here I'm definitely one of the main clowns. And when I say clown, of course, I'm referring to comedians. A lot of people see us as clowns, as jesters, and I don't at all shy away from those titles. I don't see those as insults. So when people comment on my stuff and they're like, is this guy some kind of clown? What kind of clown is this guy? Thank you for letting me know that I have accomplished exactly what I wanted with getting that particular tattoo. This one, of all the tattoos I have anywhere on my body, was the most painful tattoo that I've gotten. 100% without a doubt. Top and bottom, really, really, really hurt. It hurt so much when they were doing the bottom right here. And this sucked too, because when they were doing it, Well, with the bottom, what sucked was not only did it hurt, but the tattooer asked me to look in the corner of the room because I was laying back, and he asked me to look in the upper corner of the room and to keep my eye open so that he could do it the way he needed to do it. And my eye just kept wanting to close and was really blinking a lot. And so that added to it, and seeing the needle that close to your eye and being like, don't move, because if you move, there's a chance he's going to make you blind. And so it was scary in that way, getting it done. When it came to the top, not only was it painful, when he was tattooing right here, this whole part right here, it felt like it was right on my eyeball, which when you close your eye, if you feel right there, it is right on your eyeball. So it makes sense that it's like, and it's happening on your eyeball. And it was a sensation that I really didn't care for. But I really did trust the guy, obviously. I loved the job he did, and I'm glad to have the tattoo. The whole tattoo took maybe, I think it was 20 minutes. And of all the tattoos I have on my body, I would probably say that that one is my favorite. There will be at least 2 more coming up at some point. I don't know if there's going to be more than that, but yes, there will be 2 more that are going to be placed somewhere on my visage. Lastly, what people should know is that a big part of the way that I look at this point does come from things that I liked and wanted in my childhood, where I felt like it was cool to look kind of like a scary person. So if some people think I'm a little bit spooky looking or a little bit scary looking, that is not a complete accident, even though certain things I didn't know were going to happen the way that they happened. I just knew there was a particular effect that I wanted to have when people saw me, and I don't regret that part even a little bit either. For some reason, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a little bit spooky or a little bit weird looking. And now, whenever people see me, they may not know what circus it is, but they definitely know that the circus is in town. Anyway, this has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.